On the whole, we English are a civilised bunch. We like birdsong and we like flora. We drive Jaguars and we absolutely love old Land Rovers. We play that strange game of cricket and we have quaint, painted telephone boxes.
So why is it we make the most extreme sports cars on the planet? And here are two of them. Aren't they just perfect? First up, the Ariel Atom V8. 475 horsepower, 580 kilograms, with a Rally Super 2000 gearbox in it. 150,000 of your English pounds to do 0 to 100 miles an hour in under 5 seconds. It's just loopy. On the other hand, we have the Noble M600. 650 horsepower, 1,200 kilograms, 228,000 pounds, a genuine 200-mile supercar. Now, where do you come to drive these two cars? Do you drive them in the UK? No, you don't. You take them to Germany, you take them to the Nurburgring.
Neither of these cars has ever been to the Nordschleife before. In fact, neither of them is suited to the place, but it only seems right to bring the two most intense British sports cars to the best circuit on the planet. This isn't a timing exercise either. The actual event is a destination Nurburgring track day, and timing is strictly forbidden. And neither of the cars is set up for the ultimate time round here anyway. The Noble has street tyres and no downforce, and the Atom spring rates are for a flat British sprint track. But I just wanted to bring them here to see what they were like, and also so other people could see what they are like. Think of it as a British freak show on an overseas mission.
The Ariel Atom is comfortably the most insane road car on sale. I don't quite know why I asked them to bring it to the Nurburgring, but I'm here, so we might as well just drive it. The performance is just absolutely bonkers. That Sadev gearbox is so instantaneous. It just isn't set up for around here, but you know what, we'll give it a go. Well, I hope you can hear me. I'm going to shout as loud as I can. It's so noisy in here. Out onto the Nordschleife then. In this crazy machine. The performance is staggering. Between 30 and 120. I've never driven anything like it. Gearbox is immediate. It is intravenous drugs, this car. Absolutely intravenous. Okay, through the Fearsome right then. Atom's classic problem is it doesn't want to heat its front tyres up, and we have the same problem here, so I do get a bit of understeer. As for the Noble though, oversteer is just yards away if you want it. There's a bit of understeer. Open it wide now, coming out. For this circuit, sadly. You can alter that, but we're not here to set lap times, we're here to experience the maddest production car, I think. 500 horsepower, or 475, 580 kilograms. 150 down the hill there. What a circuit. acceleration, but try and hold on. There the foxhole. 130 something, 138 there. I'm not wide open because we're getting deflected by a few bumps. Like I said, it could do with being just a little bit softer, this car. Exposure to the elements. There's nothing else like it. Just nothing else like it. Brakes are really good. Now, I find that slightly contrary because I do get some understeer, but normally with the understeer you get a lack of initial brake bite, but you've still got the front axle to brake quite effectively in this car. Oh, Neil, if you can hear me over this bizarre induction noise behind me. 2 motorcycle engines Siamesed at the crank. God, it's just fantastic. The scenery's fantastic. Anyway, if you had to have one motoring experience in your life, this might be it, you know. There's I put the slowest corner, 3rd gear. Just throw gears at it. Before the king, we get a bit deflected by the bumps, but it's just sensational fun. Woo! Smashed it off the backside of a rocket! Incredible! Again, the bumps deflecting it, so we have to just bang the throttle a bit going up the hill. God knows whether you'll hear any of this. Off the hill now. Wide open instead. Wide open instead. I don't think this car would ever actually. You know, I don't think the Atom V8 would ever be a really fast car around here because it's just not a racing car. It's an experience. But there's actually not that many opportunities to use. Oh, in fact, God, it doesn't like the carousel. Here we go, bumping away. You just squirt it between the corners. What's it like up here in the technical stuff then? Got a bit more tyre temperature now, so what happens is the tyre starts to grip more, but that places a few more demands on these springs. You'll see that I'm getting lobbed around a bit, because it's getting bumpy in here. A bit more understeer there. Who thought of this car? Simon Saunders, the owner, he must have thought of it, but I mean, it's barking a 500 horsepower V8 in a 580 kilogram car. When it jumps.
Ariel Atom is the most unlikely of supercars. It only became one when the company decided to throw its own 3-litre V8 into the back of one of its iconic little sports cars. The engine is effectively two Suzuki Hayabusa motors conjoined, feeding 475 horsepower into a SADEV sequential gearbox. It revs to 10,600 RPM, at which point the driver's bladder becomes porous. 3-way adjustable in-track suspension is standard, but the car needs a softer spring rate to really work around the Nurburgring, and a set of more functional wings because these ones are more for looks than downforce. But then the Atom V8 isn't a radical or a Caterham rival. It's not a lap time junkie, it's a hot rod. A car to see and to be seen in, and to scare yourself utterly witless in. Like I said, from 0 to 120 miles an hour, you just can't quite believe what's going on, and frankly, I wasn't man enough to push any harder given how bumpy the circuit is. But none of that matters to me. The Atom V8 is the coolest car ever made in Somerset, and it makes me proud to drink cider. The Noble, on the other hand, makes me proud to eat pork pies. The home of the pork pie, rural Leicestershire, is an unlikely place to build a car that will pull an indicated 200 miles an hour, that's a real 190, on the main straight at the Nurburgring. But then its twin-turbo Yamaha V8 packs such a monster punch, and the carbon body panels on this car drop the weight to 1,200 kilograms. With the engine on its most powerful 650 horsepower map, it eats GT2s in a straight line. You could easily see how this car would knock huge chunks of time around the ring too. Some wings for downforce in the fast turns, and sticky tyres alone would save 30 seconds. But again, the M600 isn't about lap times. It's about owning the car that most cleanly duplicates the character of the Ferrari F40 than anything I've ever driven. Anyone looking to buy a McLaren MP412C or a Ferrari 458 who loves driving needs to try one of these cars.
Difficult to talk when you're going quick. After Flugplatz, short shifted to 6th and flat out down the hill. What a machine. Indicated 170 before Schwedenkreuz, take 5th gear. Well, what a famous corner. What a place not to fall off. 3rd gear for Arenberg. This car feels classically mid-engine. It's got good traction, but all that power, it's very easily overcome, so I have to bleed the throttle in. Down the foxhole, have I got the berries to be flat out down here? Nothing like. It's a street car, this, on street tyres, and it does just run out of travel. You can hear the odd scrape and graunch. That's it, just running out. Okay, in conventional terms, it's got a massive amount of performance. Watch it come out of here, out of now 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I've never driven a car that comes out of there like that. That's just nuts. It's got massive performance and it is very nicely balanced, but what happens when you do get up it and discover what its limits are? Well, ultimately it just loses a bit of front axle grip, so it understeers. There you go, there's that understeer there. It's steady and it's not too bad, but my god, you can neutralise that understeer whenever you bloody want to. You really can. And that's where you've got to be a bit careful, because there's a sort of, the neutral window is tiny, and sometimes around here, certainly, you want to kind of just keep the car on part throttle, and that's difficult when you've got these massive turbochargers. Look at the torque here though. Fearsome, slowest car on the circuit. If I just stay in third, I still feel that I can't use everything coming out. Wow! Down to Breitscheid. Feels like you're in the Millennium Sodding Falcon. It's just outrageous. Brakes are good. No servo. Well, there is a servo. Sorry, there is some assistance, but no ABS. Watch it come out of here. X move already. Oh, it just does a wiggle. It's got so much power up the hill. Wow! The brake pedal is very firm. I've given them a bit of a workout earlier today, so the pedal's got a little bit longer, but they're with you. Where they do come slightly unstuck around here is that in some of the bumpy braking zones you could do with an ABS system, but you know, I'm carping. And it's this car's supple ride and long travel suspension that makes it so good round here. It's a bumpy place and it's really riding these bumps well. It's also, perversely, what slightly compromises it when you really get going. So at 9/10, you just feel that you run out a bit of travel and it's a bit soft. Watch it haul up this straight though. 140, 150, this bloody bump here which is vicious in the Kesselchen, but there we go, a good squiggle through there. It's madness. I'd never driven a car with so much straight line performance around here. Absolute madness. Carousel. God, I hate the carousel. Open it up in third. Gear shift is lovely. You could argue it'd be quicker with a paddle shift, but it's such a nice manual gearbox in this car. I called this thing a modern day F40 when I drove it last year, and I backed that up. I think for once I got it right. Up into this technical section now. Hoacht, Whipperman. It's just, it changes direction nicely. It's only 1200 kilograms. But that neutral window is narrow, and if anything, now and again you do suspect that the rear axle might just come round and overtake you. But what a thing. Just kisses the ground there, doesn't it? Hear those Michelin's getting some pain. Oh, what a circuit, what a car. It's got number plates, this thing. I think Derek Bell was talking to Peter Batwood recently, and he said, having driven one of these, do you know what? I could have just turned up to Le Mans in the Group C days of one of these, unpacked my luggage, done the race, won it and gone home. It is that quick. And you know what, it's a fitting place to test a car like this because we're giving it a proper workout here. Short shift down through here. In places you just have to hold your nerve because it's so much faster than any race car I've ever driven here. Little jump there. Now this lovely flowing fast section through here. Look at that. It just runs away like a ribbon, doesn't it? The performance. Just squeeze it in fifth gear and it just goes up and then needles up around 140. Oh, this new section's a bit pantso. New tarmac here. Can't actually get any grip, but we're right onto the curb. Third gear, fire it into the mini carousel. Okay, and now the Noble does its thing. So we'll go through Galgenkopf in fourth gear. 186 board, we pull back in again onto the straight. Fourth gear, 5,000 revs, and this is when the world goes nuts. Fifth gear, indicated 165, 170, 180, 190, 190, indicated 200 miles an hour, 205 indicated. I'm actually having to slow down a bit for the kink because it's so fast. We'll go through the kink at 160. That's enough for me today, thanks. Good lord. In a street car. British sports cars, I effing well salute you. This is just awesome, this thing. Oh. And that was a lap of the Nordschleife in the Noble M600. I'm just going to go and have a quiet moment to myself. What a car.
What I love about these cars is that they don't conform to the conventional stereotypes. So what if a GT3 is a better all-round package? I mean, who cares? These two are outcasts. They are the weirdo at the wedding dressed in wacky clothes that everyone laughs at in the church service, but later on the dance floor pulls sharper moves than Justin Timberlake and bags the hottest girl. They take recreational motoring to the edge of sanity and quite frequently step beyond that point. They are why we love cars.